Hi everyone, this is Terry from Allen Art and Design. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Just having my coffee with my French vanilla. Yum. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. This is kind of like a little mini haul before I start my video. I just finished my 6-week summer program. So I apologize, I haven't been able to video as many videos as I normally do because I have to concentrate on the children and their families. So my program just ended. We just cleaned it up, and now my summer begins now, which I'm excited. Just wanted to show you this beautiful card that I got from one of the parents. It says, "You spread good deeds like flowers that blossom where you've been." I thought that was very sweet. I'm not going to read what they wrote because it's personal, but I thought that was nice. I got some beautiful roses. I got a dozen roses from one of the parents. I've never got a dozen roses from a parent before. My husband's usually the one that gets me those, but guess what? I loved them. I was so not expecting that, and I was very happy, to receive them. So that was great. I wanted to show you something. I'm very excited about this. I'm looking for china to replace a china cup collection that my mom had. When we first moved here, we didn't think I had storage for that big bin of china that she had collected over the years. So I gave some of it away, and then I donated the rest. And it turns out, yeah, I probably could have found a place for it. And it really upset me for a few years when we first moved here that I still didn't have that collection. So what I've decided to do is start my own collection. We have a clubhouse here where we live. We live in a 55-plus community. It's a mobile home community in Kingston. It's about 15 minutes outside of Plymouth, America's hometown. And we love it. We're 15 minutes from the ocean. And we have a clubhouse that we can use for parties anytime. We've been here for 4 years. We've probably had 7 parties already. Because at our other house, we used to have a pool. We used to have parties all the time. So we're kind of used to that. But I don't have to have a big mess at my house anymore. We can have a party up at the clubhouse. Everybody helps me clean up, and I come home to a clean house. So I'm happy. So I've decided to have a Mother's Day brunch this year. And I was looking for china. And I found this, and I'm like, oh, what would I use that for? But then light dawned on Marblehead. I can put a pin cushion in here, and I can use this for sewing notions. I'm so excited. I have to make a pin cushion, but I can put some of my things in there, and I don't know, whatever, scissors and whatnot for sewing. I just thought that would be great with a pin cushion right there. That would be perfect. I could bring it wherever I'm sewing. I just love this idea. I've gotten a lot of these ideas from Jennifer Clouston. She has a great pin cushion collection, and I've made pin cushions out of china. I have a video on that if you want to go check that out on my playlist. But I'm going to make myself that one. I am so excited about that. So then I saw this pretty little dish. Very pretty. And I actually think it goes with this cup. But this would be great for serving, I don't know, put little candies in it or something at the clubhouse. And then I started collecting. I like matching cup and saucer sets. I don't care if they all match, but I definitely want each of the sets to match. So I thought those were pretty. Let's see, I got this one for $3.99 at Savers. Look how pretty that is. So I'm gonna create my own teacup collection. This one, they have to be washed and everything. This was like, oh, I don't know, it doesn't even say. Like, they go between $3.99 and $5.99. So when I see a matching cup set, I'll pick one or two up as I go. And then by the time the spring comes, I'll have a full collection. So I hope everyone's having a great Sunday. Yesterday, I was completely exhausted from cleaning up my program. It's a lot of work. I have some teenagers that work with me and they help me, which was great. But it's still a lot of work. Someday I plan on doing a boho journal. I thought that would be perfect for that. I don't know how I'll use it, but I'm going to put it in with my fabrics, and when it comes time to make that journal, I've got something that's kind of boho-ish. All right, so let me show you what I got. Sorry for the glare. I've got my window open because it's been so hot. We've been stuck in the air conditioning. We've got all the windows open because there's a beautiful breeze right now. So you may get a little bit of a glare, I'm sorry. I got these needle threaders. I don't want to open them because I'm going to include these with my needle books for my giveaway. It has the wire that you put through the eye of the needle, and then there's a bigger hook and a smaller hook. So there's 3 different ways that you can use it, and I use one of these all the time now. They come in very handy. I think $3.97 a piece on Amazon. I'm starting to buy the supplies for my giveaway. This is another thing I'll be including with the needle books. These are little, I don't know if you can see them or not. These are little needle threaders as well. And you could tie a little string on them and put it in your needle book. These come in really handy. Things. These I bought for myself. It says Westcott, and I have a lot of Westcott scissors, and they're all titanium like that. These I bought for stitching. The thing that I liked about these were they have a little concaved edge on the scissors so that you can really get right up underneath a thread and snip it right on top of the material. I've never had a pair like this before. They're kind of cool. I think I've used like fingernail clippers like this before. You know, the little scissors you get and they're kind of bent like that. But these are specifically for, you know, sewing. So I thought I would treat myself, and I'll show you what I'm going to put it in my, this is my little sewing box, my embroidery kit that I made for myself. I had made, it's a little pin cushion. I made a little needle book. It's got beads. Wondering if that would go right in there. I made a little loop that you can just loop that on there. And then I had made a scissor keep. You just open it. There's a button inside that holds. See, that if you have a pair of scissors that has a gap right there like that, you can use those kind of scissors for this kind of a scissor holder. And I made this whole set out of a handkerchief from my mother's old handkerchief collection. And I've started using some of her handkerchiefs for making panels for rice bags. I mean, I'm never going to I don't know what I'm keeping these things for. I'm never really going to use them any other way. So now I've found ways to use them, and I'm excited about that. Then I also just put this in today. These are needle minders. I'll just show you. These are needle minders that I made out of Dollar Tree stickers. I painted the back with fingernail polish because they're sticky. They're stickers. But if you cover them with fingernail polish and it dries, it's not sticky anymore. And it actually firms it up. And you put a little magnet on there. When you put it on material, you have to put another magnet on the back so it holds it on. And this just holds your pins and your needles, even big needles like that. Just holds them on there so you don't lose them. Constantly losing my needles. So this has been a game changer for me. I just keep this while I'm stitching, and if I have to get up, I just put my needle on there. Then when I come back, I know where it is. I love it. So I had this little, it's this little metal piece that you get at Dollar Tree. It's supposed to be a cloud. I don't care about that. All I wanted was the metals, and then stick it in there, and I've got myself a little kit. And when I shut this, that goes in the middle. And I use this all the time. This is one of my favorite things for sewing now. So I want to show you what I got here. This is a scoreboard. Let me see if I can open this. All right, here we go. I have one of these big scoring boards, but I wanted a little one. Let me put that back. I wanted a little scoring board, so when I'm just making something small, I don't have to drag that big thing out. And this has a, how do you get that off? It has a little scoring knife. I've got plenty of those. This one's got a sharp edge on it. Wow. So that's great. That's all I need. It has some little measuring things on the back. It tells you how to make envelopes. I don't know if I would take the time to do that. I know how to make an envelope. You just fold it, glue it, you're done. But if you wanted to make a fancy one, look, there's even like a little stencil thing on the back that you could rub something on. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's got a little ruler, measurements for the envelope. Very cool. All right. I've been wanting one of these for a long time. I had to buy ink for my printer, for my program. I was running out of ink. Turns out I ended up making it to the last day. I do a sign in and out sheet for the parents. And like if grandparents are coming to pick up, or if aunties and uncles are picking up, I need to know who you are, and I ID everybody. I make them sign a sign in and out sheet so that, you know, I have a record of who's picking these children up. Make sure that the right people are picking them up. So this does have some kind of instructions on here, so I'll keep that until I read it. Let's see what else. Oh, and then I got, excuse me, let me put this away. I got, this is one of those bags at Savers. It all came together in a bag. And this is paper. It's just paper. You know, I can always use paper. I could always use this to back a journal card. You could fold it. You could make a little envelope out of it if you wanted to, you know? You could just fold it up, fold in the sides, make yourself a little envelope. Look at that. Bang. We got an envelope. See that? I don't need a scoreboard to show me how to make an envelope. I mean, it's not perfectly straight, but it's fine. I'm just showing you as an example. But you could make some little envelopes out of that. Look at how pretty that is. Just glue it down. I would probably snip that off. Maybe straighten it out a little bit, whatever. Just to make it look even. That's really crooked. And then you've got yourself a cute little envelope. So, I think that might be what I might do, is just make a whole bunch of envelopes. Those are cute. Look at that. You could tuck it in this way if you wanted to. Cute. Okay, so there's something I will put aside. I'll put it with my journaling stuff. These are envelopes. Don't really need more envelopes. I really need to just stop buying envelopes because I have more than I'll probably ever use in my whole life. But these are nice, tall, skinny ones. These would be great for a flip-flop journal, a traveler's journal. I'm also in the process of making 3 Christmas journals this year. I started them this past year, and actually I started them last Christmas, so I'm gonna finish them this Christmas. I made one for myself, one for my daughter, and one for my daughter-in-law, and it's for all the grandkids' Christmas pictures, you know, throughout the years. So I can use that for that. And then this I grabbed because, let's see, brand new, never used, butterflies and pans. I saw these because I'm still working on my butterfly journal. The thing is with journals, I don't know why I feel the need to finish my journals. I'm not selling them right now. They're for me. Why do I have to finish them? I like how Janet Nash and Possum Patty on YouTube, they just work on their journals because they're not selling them either. They're their journals. They work on them when they feel like it. And they switch from a different one, you know, each time they work on one. So why do I have to feel like I have to get this butterfly journal done? I don't. I'm gonna work on it when I feel like working on it. But these are postcards. Look at this. And it's for a butterfly, well, as far as I'm concerned, it's for a butterfly journal. And I can make journal cards. I can make pockets. This is great. There's a whole thing full of these. And the other thing I can use these for is when I start, you know, eventually when I get enough people on my channel, you know, maybe someday I will sell some of the things that I make. And if I do, I can include a pretty little card and I can say thank you for, you know, purchasing whatever, or, you know, thank you for sending me something, things like that. Like, I don't have enough subscribers to even have like a P.O. box or anything yet. I mean, once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll probably think about doing that. Oh, now I always keep this is chipboard. I always keep that because I use that for making journal covers. So, this is beautiful. Well, this one's upside down. Okay, so I'm going to be putting that with my butterfly journal. I'm getting ready to come back on and do another session on my butterfly journal, so I'll be adding those to that. Excited about that. And I feel better, you know, that I've come to the conclusion that if they're my journals and I want to work on them here, there, whenever, I can, you know, do videos on them, but I don't have to put the pressure on myself that these things have to be finished, because they don't. All right, let me show you the other things that I got. Look at this. I want to make pouches, and I've just started putting a few together. I don't have any zippers. I used to have tons of zippers. I used to sew a lot, but I don't anymore. $4.99, but guess what? I just got a new sewing machine, and I'm gonna start sewing a lot more. Look at all these. That was $4.99 for all these zippers. Look at this, a 16-inch zipper. 16-inch, 12 to 14-inch. 14-inch. So these are not little tiny zippers. These are nice long ones. The thing is, it doesn't really matter. You can just sew it however long you need it. So it doesn't matter if there's extra, because after you sew it in, you just cut that part off. Look at these, 22 inches. I don't think I'll be making anything 22 inches long, but you never know. 7 inches is a small one, 12 inches. Some of these are old, but you know what? They look like they're fine. So 20 inches, 9 inches, 7. So there's a few small ones, which is great. Oh, that's a pretty color. 12 inches, There's a beautiful blue. 24 inches. Wow, that's the longest one. And 9 inches. I got all of these for $4.99. I mean, you cannot beat that. It doesn't look like I'm going to need any zippers for a long time. I'm very excited about that. I seriously don't have any zippers. I have one zipper in my sewing stuff right here. Now I might change it out because this really isn't like the color I'd want to use. I might like to use like a pretty blue, or maybe like a pretty pink. This one's 12 inches. This one would probably be best for this. I don't want to waste a 24-inch zipper only to have to cut a lot of it off. So look, yeah, this is the same size. Do I like that color with that? Not really sure. I don't see any coral in this. This one I thought it was a neutral one, but let me see what other colors we have. Ooh, look at this green one. How big is that one? 20 inches. That one's only 9. So yeah, I would have to go with something like this, but let's look at this one. That's a pretty color. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'll put those with my other ones. Look at that one. Yeah, so you only stitch it to what you need, and then you back stitch a few times over it to secure it, and then just snip it off and you're good. Look at that. So this is this is a pouch that I'm working on. This was a piece of embroidery that I had found at like a church sale, and it was like a pocketbook, and you had to finish the whole thing, and I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to use what was finished on the piece, and I think it's beautiful. And then I found this material, and look at how beautifully the colors go together. And then I found this was an old shirt that I cut up. I just like the material. It's a jersey material. It's nice and soft. And I was thinking of using that as the lining. Yeah, I would probably turn it that way so that that's the inside. And that would be the lining of this. And then I would stitch the zipper in. I think, there you go. There's a project right there. This is going to be an easy project. Once I get my sewing machine up and running, that's a zip, zip, zip project. Very quick. And I'll either show you how I do it or show you when it's finished. I'm looking forward to that project. Okay, so I don't need that. So then I had found, it was in another bag. I just put it in this bag for now. There was a whole bunch of like stuff in it, but not sewing related. I found all of this. Let's see what it says. It says craft thread. So it doesn't even tell you what kind. The reason I like this thread is because you can just use one strand of it. I'm constantly having to separate embroidery thread. It's annoying, it's a pain in the butt, but you have to do it if you want to use it. This, I love this stuff because I just use the one strand. It's perfect. Love that. So these are all that kind. I don't know what these are called. It just says craft thread on it, but if anybody knows, let me know what they're called. And then the thing that I also loved was it has some gold and silver in there. I thought that would make some nice accents. Let me show you. I'm going to put these away now. So I'm going to add those to my embroidery threads. I'm just going to use these for like my sample book because they only cost a few dollars, and I don't want to spend a lot of money on that kind of stuff. But I think I'm going to add these to this. Let me show you what I've done so far. I have been working on this a little bit at a time. I got to show you. I'm so excited. I finished the cover. The inside cover. I haven't finished embroidering the back or the front yet, but I did end up putting some buttons on the front. I had put some little slow stitching on there just to add something to it. I added a little bit of white right there. Oh, this thing's sticking to me. But look, I finished 2 pages. I'm so proud of myself. Hopefully Jennifer Clouston would be proud of me. Because she's the one who inspired me to do this. I mean, my embroidery doesn't look a thing like hers, and there's no way that I'm going to try to compare myself to her. She's phenomenal. But she inspired me to do this. I love that. This is one of my favorite pages. It took me all day long to do all those leaves. Leaves are not easy. This one actually came out pretty good. There's a few that came out really good. The other ones, not so good. But this is practice. And I love that. And then this one I thought came out pretty good. Again, I went around and did a little bit of stitching just to add a little bit of accent around there. And then I stitched the whole thing in last night. It's a little wonky. The whole book is wonky, but I don't care. It's my book. I'm having fun with it. I'm using up materials, supplies. I love it. So there's the cover. Let me see what else I've done so far. This one, I'm not finished with it yet though. The thing is I need to keep in mind where this page is going to be in my book, so that I like to coordinate my colors. Like, see, there's green, there's that I don't know, kind of like a fuchsia color, there's yellow, there's orange. There's brown in here, so I'm gonna add a little brown over here, and then I think that covers all the colors. I added some blue beads here just for an accent, so I carried that over with the blue here. These are just, like nonsensical botanicals. Like, they're all crazy. They don't make any sense. They're not made to look like anything real. They're just me practicing. I made a mess of some of them, but some of them came out good. So that's what I'm using it for. Then I added some buttons. I messed up on the stitching here. I just sewed a button on top. So that will be placed in here. I'm going to be working on these 2 pages. I like to work on pages that are right next to each other until they're finished. And that way I can coordinate the colors. Let's see. And then like these 2, I'm going to be bringing some of that blue over here. I'm going to be bringing some orange over there. This color's already there. So that way they kind of go together. And then this one, I haven't done anything here, but what I'll do is I think I'm gonna complete this page, and then I'm going to make something on this page that actually coordinates with that one. And then I put one of my needle minders in here, which I love, because I was losing pins last night when I was stitching. So this, I think I'm going to add some orange French knots, and then I'm going to add some blue. Jennifer calls it softening and movement. So I'm going to put some movement in there and some softening. I'm going to put some blue because there's some blue here. The first time I ever made ribbon roses. And then I'm just practicing things. Like, this is the way this is supposed to look. See how they're all kind of messed up? But by the time I started here and worked my way around, by the time I got down here, I actually think it came out really good. So that's what happens, is you have to practice. You can't just expect to know how to do these things. I mean, I was a cross stitcher. I didn't do much of this stuff at all. I used to embroider on my jeans when I was a teenager. I'm so mad that I don't still have those jeans. I don't know what I did with them, but so this one is going to coordinate with this one. So I'm going to bring some dark green over here. There's already orange. There's light green. I'm going to bring some yellow into it and probably some brown. And that way they'll look different, but they'll have similar colors. And just, I don't know why, it just aesthetically, it looks good to me. So that's where I am with this book. I mean, I think I'm coming along pretty good. I have a spread of 2 pages I'm going to work on next, I think. And then I just have a few single pages, and then I'm going to be able to sew that book together. I am going ahead and I'm putting buttons on the pages. I'll go ahead and put the buttons on probably before I even start stitching again, just so all my buttons are on. I'll put them on. I started with that one. The only reason I put this one on last night is because I still had green in my needle and I wanted to use it up, so I figured, why not sew a button on and use the thread? So I'm really pleased with the way that this is coming out. At some point when I'm finished with this, I'm going to put together all of my videos and photos on how I made this, and I'll do a whole video from start to finish so that you can see the progression of this book. I love it, and I just love the feel of it in my hands. It's so comforting to work on. I just love it. It's very therapeutic. I'm gonna snip off some of these threads. This is not supposed to be anything perfect. This is just a stitch book, but I love it. I've decided on the front, I'm going to make 2 stems. Oops, that's got a lot of thread on it. 2 stems with thistle flowers. And then on the back here, there's these other flowers that Jennifer does that I'm going to put on here. And I think I'm going to weave a light green through these. These are just straight stitches, but I think it would look really cool. It'll almost make it look like rope if I weave some light green through there. And then I'm going to have these pink, bright pink flowers that hang down. They're going to look almost like cone flowers or something. So that, and I'm not putting any buttons on the back because I don't want it to be hitting and scratching surfaces with buttons. I just want them on the front and on each page inside. So let me know in the comments what you think of this book and how you think it's coming out. I am super thrilled with it. I love it, and I'm gonna start working on it again tonight just because I'm having so much fun with it. I really enjoy stitching at night when I'm watching YouTube videos and movies and things. It's very relaxing. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. It helps with stress reduction. Oh, the other thing, look what I found. I found these dragonflies. And I've never used them. And I thought that I could stitch one of these. Let's take it off and see if we can, see how we can, I don't even know how to get this off of here. That would be so cool. Stitched on my book. What do you think? Look at how it shimmers. I would really have to stitch that down so that it doesn't move. I might glue it and then stitch it, but look at how pretty that's going to be. And there's a little purple on that head, so if I do purple thistles on the front, I think it's gonna be pretty. I'm gonna have to put some glue over these glitter things because I can see they're falling off. But if you just put glue and it dries clear, they won't come off. Isn't that gonna be pretty? I love it. So excited about it. I have another thing that I'm super excited about. That what this is it's a little cloth that you throw over your shoulder. It's a burp. Is it a burp cloth? Or a spit up cloth for a baby. You put it over your shoulder. My daughter gave it to me. And I'm like, wow, that's a great shape for a sewing roll. So I found some old material. This is from a blouse. And let me show you where this came from. These flowers came from a tablecloth that my aunt and uncle gave me when we got married 36 years ago. We never used it. It sat in a drawer in my china cabinet for years, and I never used it. I said, that's it. I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, I'm either going to use it or I'm going to lose it. I can't hang on to this stuff forever. I cut the tablecloth up. Look at the color of this. It was white when they gave it to us, but look how beautiful it faded over the years. I'm just gonna cut that off. I just cut out all of these botanicals. Look at them. There's a ton of them. I'm gonna be using these on needle books and needle and sewing rolls. Maybe rice bags. I'm gonna use them all up. I love them, and I think I've found a way to use them. And it would be a nice way to honor my aunt and uncle. They're not with us anymore, you know, but they took the time to buy us a beautiful tablecloth, and I've never used it, like I said. It's time to use these things. Stop hoarding things. So what I did was, let me just put this aside. And then there's a lot of little roses and little flowers. These are all little cut-offs, you know, offcuts, I guess I could say. Ooh, and that's pretty. I haven't seen that one. Oh, there's a whole bunch of those. Good. I'm going to be using those up. And then there's just little leaves and roses, and I'm using all of them. I love them. So I sewed some of them on. Got the roses, and I've got these flowers. These are some of the yo-yos or Suffolk puffs that came off of that table runner that I bought last week. I cut a few off and I added them on. Put these little roses there. I just love the look of that. I did a blanket stitch all the way around the edge in green. And now look at this. This was a pillowcase. It's like the same weight as the other material on the other side. But look what I did. I made a little pocket. It's wonky, but hey, I hand stitched it on. I hand stitched that and that. And then this, I put some felt underneath here. And you can just put your, let me just find a sharp one. You can put your needles in there. Put your pins. It's a little pin cushion. And then this, I made a little needle book. I'll just stick some pins in there and you can see, I don't know where all the thin needles are, but here we go. It's a needle book, and this is going to be glued and stitched down right there. And then I'll show you. Let me pin it so it doesn't keep popping up. And then, where is it? Oh, right here. I'm getting ready to make, I'm going to braid this. It's just 3 pieces of embroidery thread. 6 strands each, and I'm gonna just pin it down onto something, and then I will braid it, and then I will glue it under there when I glue that, and then I'll probably put a few stitches in too. There'll be a little button on the top, and then you can just, you know, tie it around. So that's how that one's gonna close. And then this is a little scissor keep. I've got it all pinned together because I haven't finished it yet. But I'm going to glue it together. This is the glue that I use. It's just craft tacky glue. This stuff works amazing on material. Forget about Fabrifix. That stuff I don't like it at all. I mean, it has its place, but when I use it with material, it seeps through the material and leaves a stain on it, and you can't get it out. I don't like that at all, so I've stopped using it. I just use that tacky glue, and it's thick, but if you spread it out, it dries quickly, and it's very strong. So I will go ahead and I will stitch this on first, then I will glue this. There's felt on the inside of that, so that the scissors don't catch. And then I'm going to be making this, I'm going to stitch this together. I might put a little glue in there first and then stitch it. And it will be shorter than this. It'll be about this long. And it's going to go in between here, and it will hold the scissors on. You just weave it in. There'll probably be a snap on either side, and then I'll put a button on each end so you can't see it. Underneath will be a snap. And that will hold the scissors in. So this is my, oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you is, hold on, what did I do with them? I've decided to add, because I like the pink, I'm adding a flower here because look, it's a stem, but if I add a flower there, I thought this is a little crooked. So if I add a flower there, it kind of distracts your eye a little bit. So this is for me. I don't care if it's a little crooked anyways. First time I've ever made one of these. I think it's pretty cool. I am so excited about this. So I'm going to put one here, there, and I just think that's going to be really pretty. I'll glue them down because they're made out of paper, and if you don't glue them down, yeah, there's going to be a problem with that. So what you do is you roll it, then you roll it again, and then you close it, and I'll just put a pin in there for right now. It's a little sewing roll, and look at how cute it is. I love it. So I was going to give this away, and my husband's like, why are you going to give it away if you love it that much? I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm not giving it away. I'm keeping it for myself. Maybe another giveaway, I will make one of these and include it. But for right now, I'm keeping it. So this will go here underneath somehow. I'm not sure how I'm going to attach it yet. And then there'll be a button, and then you just do the same thing. Isn't that adorable? Let me know what you think of my update on my sewing, my stitch book, my slow stitch book, and my new little sewing roll. I love this thing. When it's finished, I'm going to take this everywhere I go when I stitch, like in the car. If I have a doctor's appointment, I'll just stick this in my bag and bring a little project, and I've got everything I need. A needle, threader, a little pair. I've got my scissors. I've got some little buttons in that I can put in there. I'll have needles. I'll have pins. This will be awesome. I am so excited about this. Can't even tell you how much I love this thing. All right. So, one more thing, and then I think we are done for today. So I was telling my daughter about this. Well, actually, I think I showed it to her about the roll. And I asked her, I'm like, do you have any more of these burp cloths, or, you know, whatever you call them? Guess what she gave me? She gave me, I think there's 4 of them. 4 of them. They're brand new. She got them with the baby. She never used them. I'm going to use these to make some more sewing rolls. Oh my God, look at them. These are perfect bases. They'll all be covered. You won't even see this stuff. But again, they're exactly like the shape I need. And then once you make all the things that go inside of them, you roll them up and you'll seal it. You know, we put a button there and you've got yourself another sewing roll. So I've got 4 of these. And then I bought this at I think it was at Savers. It said it was on the box. It was brand new, never even used. It said makeup remover, and I thought I use at night when I'm too lazy to wash my face. I use facial cleansing cloths, and then I put moisturizer on before I go to bed, just so I don't leave any makeup on my face. And that's what I thought they were. I thought they were these little cloths that you use to wash your face. Well, it turns out it's another one of these. And look, it comes with this little pad. I'll cut that off. And this will be covered anyways. I'll use that as a needle book. inside, and I've got myself another roll. Look at this. I'll get rid of that too, but look, there's another one. And then there's a little pouch, which I could probably use it to store some kind of craft supplies. But then she came downstairs again with these. I'm like, Katie, what is that? These are giant cloths. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. But guess what I want to use them for? These are bases for pouches. That's what I see anyways. You just, cover the whole thing with your material front and back, and then, fold it up to where you want it and stitch the sides. This will be a lot thicker because this is thin, and when you put a front and a back on it, you could put some batting in it or some stabilizer, and then you just put a button on there, and look at what we got. Those are gonna make pouches. She's like, take them, we'll figure it out later. And I'm like, yes, we will. Thank you very much. But look at all these future projects. I'm so excited. I appreciate your support. I'm looking forward to picking some winners for my 5th subscriber giveaway. I think I've decided to add a few other things to my giveaway. I'm going to add a pin cushion that I made out of China. And if I get another needle book done, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that can win. If I don't get to the other needle book, I will have 4, because I've already got some of these pin cushions made out of China already done, so I can just include one. All right, so thank you again for coming to my channel. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share my channel with a friend. Maybe they'd like to enter the giveaway. I'd appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video. Happy crafting.